Hello and a very warm welcome to Sarat Chandra IAS Academy, where your dreams are our mission. This is Yatharth here. Today we are going to discuss about the monsoon, Indian monsoon, and specifically the southwest monsoon. We'll be reading the news, see how to figure out the important portions from the news itself, as well as focus on Indian monsoon, its complete mapping, the factors affecting it, and its movement. Alright, we'll also see in the next lecture a separate topic which is being affected by the current monsoon. Alright, so that is for the next lecture. In this lecture, we'll talk about the southwest monsoon. Let's first figure out the news and make a mind map of the news. So this is the news article we are talking about. So it says it is the beginning of the end. Alright, it looks like a complicated line, but it shows that we are talking about a period which marks the beginning of the end of something. Alright, and end of what? Especially the southwest monsoon this year. So one thing is it's an annual phenomena. And what is the phenomena? The southwest monsoon. So first of all, let's figure out the directions here. I hope you are all familiar that this is north, this is south, this is east, and this is west. And we are talking about the southwest monsoon. So the one coming from this side. So which water body is this side? It's the Arabian Sea. Alright, and here it's the Bay of Bengal. So we're talking about this system in relative to India. Okay, with the IMD announcing its, just a second, withdrawal from the West Rajasthan on Monday. So we are just saying that it going towards this side and now coming back. So we'll see that in the map. So this is a week behind from the normal withdrawal date of September 17. So as of Monday, we don't need this. The monsoon rainfall over India was 5% below what's the usual for this time of the year. Alright, so it's basically 95% of the usual. So can it still be considered a normal year? Overall, I hope you all know that the problem right now is not much with how much it is raining or with the quantity of rainfall. The problem is with the distribution of rainfall. That the equitable rainfall is not present all over the country, and that's because of the climate change. Alright, sometimes it's raining very heavily in the northeast and it's causing floods there. In this portion, there are no rains and it's drought condition. Alright, so this is the issue. So under the impact of the El Nino, so we'll see what is El Nino. I have already explained the both phenomena, El Nino and La Nina, in multiple lectures, but we'll cover them here also very in brief. For detail, you can watch those other lectures on the same channel. Alright, so India was starting at drought-like conditions with the August registering a nearly 36% deficit. Alright, so we are right now in September. August had around 36% deficit, and that's because of the El Nino condition. So it becomes a simple observation that El Nino will produce. How will it impact Indian monsoon? It will produce some dry conditions for India. Alright. So this is the news. This is the mind map of the news. And these are the pickups. So let's just sort out the pickups. What are the pickups from our news? One is the southwest monsoon. And moreover the monsoon actually. The phenomena of the monsoon. Then southwest monsoon. The arrival and withdrawal of monsoon. The usual rainfall in India, as well as the El Nino, and the impact of withdrawal of monsoon, as well as impact of rain deficit in India. So foremostly, it becomes very important to understand this phenomenon, the monsoon phenomena or the Indian monsoon phenomena. So we'll be understanding this in the current lecture, and eventually we'll be able to figure out the rest of the following. So India's climate is dominated by the monsoon. I'll be making some comments here and there. You can note them down. I'll share this PDF also on the channel. So India's climate is dominated by the monsoons. And monsoons are strong, often violent winds. So this, please remember that monsoon is not rainfall. Rainfall is the effect of monsoon, but monsoon itself is a wind phenomena that change directions with the seasons. The term technically describes seasonal reversal of wind directions caused by the temperature differences between the land and the sea breeze, creating zones of high and low pressure over land in different seasons. So while the water is carried with the winds, the monsoon primarily is a wind phenomena or wind direction reversal phenomena. Alright, so how does it go around? Let's say this is the map and this is the position of sun. Just a second, I'll clear this. Let's come this side only, upwards only. So when we see that the sun's position is fixed, of course, and when the earth is going around the sun, there is a change of seasons because of the relative tilt, which is 23.5 degree. Alright, so because of this relative tilt, there is a change of the seasons. And the relative position of the sun to earth keeps changing between the both tropics of Cancer and Capricorn. Alright, so there are hot zones formed here and here. Now because of the hot zones forming here and there is a reversal of the low pressure zones between both tropics. And India falls at such a place where the Tropic of Cancer passes through it. Tropic of Capricorn is down below. Alright, when the position of the sun changes relatively, or the earth changes relative to the sun, there is also a change in the high temperature zones or low pressure zones, because of which the winds change directions. Alright, as the sun moves down towards the colder side, alright, the winds will also go below. This is what's happening right now. It's termed as a withdrawal of monsoon. And in the summertime, the sun will come up here towards India and it will bring the winds from the Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea eventually. So that's why monsoon season is followed by the summer season is followed by the monsoon season. So let's see this. In the map here we can see this is the high pressure zone, and then there is a low pressure zone forming by the relative position of the sun here, and it is bringing airs from the oceans located below us, let's say. Alright, and with these winds, moisture or water comes from the sea. So any country, just a second. So any of the countries which would want a seasonal monsoon, so there should be some prerequisite conditions for this: presence of various water bodies, large water bodies, and the presence of such countries between the tropical zones. So high rainfall will be here. So many countries go through the monsoon, seasonal monsoons. Alright, not only India, but in India it is very visibly clear that such seasons arrive. Alright, so monsoons occur during changes in atmospheric pressure, which are caused by different rates of heating and cooling to continents and oceans. And monsoons occur every year in many countries. Alright, not only India. Some people have this misconception that India is the only country to have monsoon season. Alright, around the world other than the South Asia, Northeast Australia, Africa, South America and US are also affected. Alright, the geographical extent of the global surface monsoons can be outlined by the normalized seasonality. So this is a geographical extent of the global surface of monsoon, and these are the places in which monsoon is generally observed. Alright, so as I told you, the prerequisite condition, that presence of water bodies that will bring the rainfall. Otherwise, it will simply be winds. So we associate monsoon with the water bodies and rainfall. So second thing is the presence between both the tropics. Alright, this can be asked as a question. Let's move a little bit down. So the global surface monsoon contains three kinds of monsoons: the tropical, the subtropical, and temperate frigid monsoons respectively. The extent of the classic tropical monsoon. So we are talking about a tropical monsoon, which is associated with winds and good rainfall. The same monsoon can also bring snow in other countries in the temperate regions. Okay, is surrounded by the positions of the intertropical convergence zone, which is ITCZ. So ITCZ is what? Basically, when sun is in relation to earth, all right, there is a line, which is line of equator, and there are two tropics, all right. So wherever the sun is moving, so between these both tropics, there are ICTZ, which is intertropical convergence zone. All right. So in summer and winter, which is the result of the two driving forces of the tropical monsoon, the seasonal variation of the planetary thermal convection and the seasonal variation of the semi-permanent planetary waves due to the thermal contrast between ocean and continent. So you don't need to learn all this complex definition. It is just the standard definition, let's say. All right. So this is the reasons. These are the reasons because of which the monsoon takes place. But what we need to focus on is simply the movement of sun or the movement of earth related to the sun and the shifting of ICTZ, which changes the direction of the winds between both tropics. Alright. So surface temperature range that results in the monsoon. We'll see this map here. So sea surface temperature variations are much smaller than the land surface temperatures variations. So this is one of the most important things that you need to learn, that the sun affects the land more rather than the ocean. All right. So here we can see the Tibetan plateau. It's a high plateau, this one. All right. And it's rather dry. So it's affected by sun the most. All right. So temperature here changes a lot on the land and it becomes very warm. When it becomes very warm, there is a low pressure area formed here. When the low pressure area is formed here, all right, it attracts the winds from the ocean surrounding by. And Tibetan plateau is rather higher than the Himalayas. All right, Himalayas are like this, the four mountains, and Tibetan plateau is like this. All right, it's a whole plateau, not a mountain, but its general elevation is rather higher. All right, so let's move here. So when we come to the monsoon, it's a term derived from the Arabic word Monsoon, meaning season. It was first used by Arabic navigators to describe the seasonal winds of the Arabian Sea. So these winds blow from the northeast for one half of the year and from the southwest for the other half. And monsoon winds blow from cold to warm regions because cold air takes up more space than warm air in the lower layers of the environment. All right, the warm air rises up and there is more cold air in the lower layers of the environment. All right. So we can see two sort of the monsoons here. This is the Arabian Sea monsoon and this is Bay of Bengal monsoon. So both of them are working together only, not one after the other, and they are being withdrawal at a similar rate. So we'll see about them both. Okay. So in the winter, with the onset of the winter, their withdrawal starts, and with the onset of the summer, their arrival starts. So after the end of the summer season, it will rain, and before the beginning of the winter season, it will stop raining. So earlier, when the climate change was not there, there were clearly marked seasons, such as 3 months will be this, 3 months will be rainfall, and 3 months will be winter. But right now it's being very overlapped. It rains anytime in the winters and summers now. So we'll read that later. So being a tropical monsoon country, there are two monsoon seasons, the southwest summer monsoon, this one, alright, and the northeast winter monsoon. So this one, we'll see about these. So the span of the southwest or summer monsoon, which is the most important one, is June to September, with 75% of the annual rainfall in India. So this is the major monsoon. Alright, and the northeast of winter monsoon is characterized by a dry continental air mass blowing from the vast Siberian high pressure from December to March. So it's coming from where? Siberian side, or basically from the Russian side. Alright, so the rainfall includes snowfall during winter monsoon, which is of order of 1000 kilometers square in India. This is also known as a retreating monsoon. Alright. So the mountains of southern India spread the summer winds. So we are talking simply about the summer monsoon now, which is coming from the lower end. Alright, so mountain of southern India. So there are two major mountain ranges here, the Western Ghats as well as the Eastern Ghats. The monsoon is deflected northwards via the Western Ghat to Mumbai and then on to Pakistan. So basically if winds are coming here, they cannot get past the Western Ghat mountains because of the high elevation, and they are deflected towards the Mumbai region or the Maharashtra region. Alright, and the eastern arm travels through the Bay of Bengal to the Kolkata and Assam. Alright, along the eastern coast towards the Kolkata in the West Bengal here and the Assam here, and is deflected northwestwards via the Himalayas. So here again Himalayas are there. So it's set up like a trap, you can see. Alright, so this is India, let's say. So one monsoon is trying to come from here but cannot get past here. Alright, so it goes here, and one monsoon is coming towards here, going here and coming like this. Alright, anti-clockwise. So on an average the winds arrive in southern India about 6 weeks before they arrive in northwest India. 6 weeks means 42 days or about 1.5 months. Alright. So this we have already seen. Now let's get back towards this monsoon. So Thar Desert and adjoining areas of the northern and central Indian subcontinent heats up too much during the summer. Alright, here we can see the Thar Desert area. Apologies for that sound. Alright, so this causes a low pressure area over the northern and central Indian subcontinent. So we all can see, again let's say this is India. So this area, it is much heated, the Thar Desert that is in Rajasthan, and it will create a low pressure area here. So it will attract these winds coming from the monsoon. To fill up this void, the moisture laden winds from the Indian Ocean rush into the subcontinent, and these winds rich in moisture are drawn towards the Himalayas, creating winds blowing storm clouds through the continent. The southwest monsoon is generally expected to begin around the middle of June and dies down due to the dies down by the September. So this is the phenomenon that is happening now, which is the retreating monsoon. So retreating monsoon still will rain in some parts of central India. This is Indian Ocean winds during the monsoon. Here we can see this is India here. Alright, so this is Indian Ocean, and this is the Arabian branch, and this is the Bay of Bengal branch. Alright, this is the southeast monsoon, which will play a part later on. I'll share this PDF. You will have all these maps. No need to panic about the maps or anything. You can understand later on. Alright, I'll share this in our Telegram channel, which is Sarat Chandra IAS Academy. So you can search there. Alright, so onset of the southwest monsoon. So this map is showing you basically the same thing. The Western Ghats here. Just a second. Alright, so the Western Ghats here. So the monsoon winds come here. They get deflected towards the Mumbai area here. You can see these winds here. Alright, and here are the Eastern Ghats in this area. So the winds will rather travel towards the Kolkata and then Assam, and cannot go further because of the high elevation of Himalayas. So they just rotate towards here. Alright. Now when we see about the retreating monsoon or the monsoon that comes back, so this monsoon is coming back from here. This is the retreating monsoon. Alright, so at the same time, we will face some monsoon from the northeast or Siberian winds. And also from the Pacific Ocean. So much of India experiences infrequent and relatively feeble precipitation during the retreating monsoon. So some winter winds like Mawat is there. An exception to this rule occurs along the southeastern coast of India and for some distance inland. When the retreating monsoon blows from the northeast across Bay of Bengal, it picks up significant amount of moisture, which is subsequently released after moving back onto the peninsula. Alright, so it will rain here sometimes in the winter. This rain is considered sometimes good for the crops such as wheat, and sometimes it is destructive in the areas such as West Bengal and all, where it is blown highly. Alright. So the heaviest monsoon rainfall occurs where the wind blows side to side on the hills. The higher the hills and more moist the air, then the greater the amount of rainfall. These factors give Cherrapunji in Assam one of the highest rainfalls in the world. On average, Cherrapunji has an annual rainfall total nearly. So now this has changed. There is another place named as Monsoon in Meghalaya, spelled as MAWSNRA, Monsoon in Meghalaya. So it's considered as India's wettest place and 467 inch of rainfall per annum. Alright, so just remember this. When we move forward, so Mumbai receives about 1.8 meters with the maximum monthly total in July. That's not very important. We can just see the rainfall distribution in India, let's say. So the places that are close to Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea will receive high rainfall. When they are close to sea, they will receive high rainfall. And once those are first in the line of the monsoon, they will receive high rainfall. So areas such as Mumbai or let's say the northeastern areas, they will receive high rainfall. So the next from here we will cover in the next lecture, which I am going to soon release. And I'll end this lecture here. Thank you very much for being with me. This is Yatharth here signing off. I'll see you again very soon. Have a good day.